Okay, we gotta do one more thing before we actually start this mission. After watching that last episode, I decided I really liked the look of that level 8 Herald better than this level 9 Herald. I probably should have been able to decide that on the spot, but at least I kept both of them, left my choices open. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and sell that inferior one. I think it's kind of unusual for the higher level one to be worse, but in this case, I think it is. And I really like that 28 in the magazine. That'll totally make up for the fact that it doesn't do quite as much damage, and the accuracy is negligible. Doesn't really matter that much on a Herald. I actually got a few things to sell. From when we killed Badma and got that chest from the Bloodshot gate. Okay, enough fooling around with gear and preparation. Let's go see how these weapons actually do in a damn fine rescue. Of course, I missed my first critical hit. Still don't even have one. That explosive AR does nicely against those nomads at this point. Curious how long it'll take for that thing to get weaker. Those guys went down as fast as Badma did. So, safe to say we are pretty happy with our fire and explosive weapons.
Look here, Iberian. I'm not asking much for rolling. $1 million bucks. Hello? You don't want to be here. Goddamn mercs!
Herald works fine.
No getting away.
Waited too long.
You should be running. You cannot kill me. Oh, God.
One shot and fire did the rest.
Let you go. Just die. At least I won't have to deal with you people.
He moved his shield aside just at the right time. Here comes a badass psycho. Moving fast as usual.
I'll feed your skin snack.
He didn't finish his sentence there. Now we got that guy. One nice thing for me about Maya is that she doesn't really lose anything by going around spending time checking out all the lockers and the ammo chests. Whereas if I was playing Krieg right now, he'd be losing all of his stacks. Maya is totally not built around stacks, whereas Gage and Krieg and Zero really are. And when you wander around doing all this kind of idle scrounging, you lose all your stacks. Well, not with Gage, she keeps Anarchy. So with those characters, I think you're better off if you just keep going and going. But that doesn't stop me from scrounging, even if I was playing one of those characters. I just have to rebuild my stacks every time. Of course, none of them would have very much of that this early in the game, if any. We're still strictly on first tier skills. That's kind of why it's not always interesting to watch a playthrough that doesn't go any farther than normal mode. Because in normal mode, the characters are all kind of the same. You know, they're all largely skillless until you start getting into true Vault Hunter mode and the skill trees start filling out a little bit. Other than, you know, how different their basic action skill is. Like with Krieg, I almost never use his basic action skill. And so far with Maya, we haven't really either. There's one. Look at all the health. That would have been nice if we had needed it, but in the future when we need it, that'll be great.
Even if they don't buy him from the Bloodshot, they're coming for him. You better hurry.
Come on, little one. Time to die. Oh my God, I'm on fire! This one's mine. I'll make it cold out here. Toss grenades! I'll break you, Ironside!
Fire sniper's not the best thing on that Gatling gun those guys have. Might have been good to switch to that explosive assault rifle for that. That Fireburst grenade's doing a really good job though.
Tossing some hay!
I'm glad we picked that up. Yay. Well, there's still a few more spawns in here down the right side and the left side. I was hoping the shotgun would be a poor man's heartbreaker. So far, I'm not disappointed. It seems like a pretty good gun. Maybe I'll even end up saving it for the next character. It'd be kind of weird to save a green card weapon for the next character, but I don't know how likely it is to get this good of a fire shotgun that holds 9, has, what, like a 2.7 reload speed, and pretty close to 70 on accuracy. So it's kind of one of those cases where the color of the card doesn't necessarily indicate the quality of the weapon. Sometimes you find a green card weapon that for whatever reason just really works. There's lots of times in this game where it's kind of inexplicable. Like with getting a purple rubberized grenade. That makes no sense. And just the fact that it's rubberized should disqualifying it from being purple. And you also find otherwise good purple grenades that have like a 3 for a fuse time. And then it's even more a quandary. How in the heck that got to be a purple with that long of a fuse time? Of course, this early in the game, I guess for the most part, green is the good stuff. We've got that purple explosive assault rifle. And we had a blue pushka. And of course we have the legendary bonus package. Other than that, I think we're carrying around all greens. Even a white card with that corrosive grenade. We're not going to get a good look at that corrosive grenade in here. We have to wait till we get up on the ramparts before that's going to be useful. It's pretty much all fire damage down here. Now we're going to try the Gwen's head. It's totally unnecessary to run back to the vending machines all the time like that. But I like to sell my stuff. We shouldn't have to run back again. Usually I don't run back once I get into here. Just keep going forward because the next vending machine is not all that far past here. This is kind of the high point of Bloodshot Stronghold, at least the lower part. Because this is where Mad Mike comes out.
The Resistance needs the info Roland gathered on the vault. We know Hyperion wants it open, but we don't know why. If you rescue Roland, we might have a shot at stopping Jack.
Guy changed his mind and ran back the other way again.
still.
Getting a little bit of use out of phase lock. I was watching somebody and they phase lock him right when he jumps over the water. And instead of doing anything to him, they just wait for him to drop, and that's the end of him. But I've never tried that. I should do that sometime. I always do the chicken way out, even though in normal mode you don't need to. But this is good practice for later. In Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, Mad Mike can be a real threat. He's still a threat, even in normal mode. There's just a lot more cover down here, and they're not, you know, you get away from them being all surrounding you. Yeah, I think I threw it too far. There's a guy up there. Obviously, doing it this way takes a lot longer. The ground down here really sucks. You get stuck on everything. And he's not even aggroed anymore. It took so long, he just totally lost interest in us. There he is. Sweet. So run around, get some more guys to spawn. My thumb is like kind of shaky, so to get the real precision, I have a really hard time doing it. But I still like to try. I know some people hate using snipers this much, but I don't really get tired of it. I really enjoyed Sniper Elite 4. I never played on the actual highest, where you have to figure out the wind speed and all that stuff. I mostly played on the next to highest, which gave you a lot of cushion and a lot of help. But it was still fun to snipe from long distance. There was a lot of fun things about that game. The maps were really good in it. Kind of like this game. Except these aren't really open world style maps, whereas those were. Like the whole thing wasn't one big open world, but each individual map was a decent size little open world that you could tackle however you saw fit. And that was kind of cool. See, that time I went around to spawn new guys. And that guy was still left over from the last time around. So it was kind of pointless. This time, though, we ought to get Mad Mike. I keep looking at that Shotgun ammo. Expecting it to change to sniper or something. I don't know what I'm thinking. Probably just forgetting that I already looked at it. Now see, that little explosion that took out a good chunk of my shield was probably Mad Mike with his missile launcher. That definitely looked like Mad Mike with his missile launcher. There he is. I usually don't go for headshots on Mad Mike because if you can see his head, he can hit you with the launcher. If I had a homing fire grenade, I would throw that and he'd be done. But since I don't, we'll do that. And normal mode Mad Mike was not that bad. Although if he would have hit us better with one of those missile strikes, we'd be coming back from a respawn about now. Not again. Don't check it again. Oh, I did. Still shotgun ammo. There's my shaky thumb again, probably. Just going wild on me. I use a trackball on my computer and sometimes it's just pathetic watching my thumb go nuts. It's like, no, I want to edit the text right in this spot. And my thumb's all going back and forth, selecting all kinds of stuff I didn't mean to. Nobody really left anything very interesting for us here. One time I had, it was probably in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, Mad Mike or somebody dropped a legendary when they died, and it went straight down into that whirlpool. I mean, I saw the orange all the way down, and I was like, no. And I never did even find out what it was, because it was just gone. Of course, you have the option to collect all of Marcus's echoes when you go through here, listen to all those. But it only gives you like one badass point if you collect all of them. I think there's like 5. But it's kind of amusing how Marcus got the Bloodshot's all armed. And in the Firehawk mission, Lilith mentions that the Bloodshots have gotten a lot more aggressive. You have to wonder, is that due to Marcus? Are all these problems that you're having right now kind of trace back to Marcus selling guns to these guys? Thanks, Marcus. That fireburst grenade was a good find. I rely on grenades a lot in Borderlands 2. That's why I like Axton and Krieg. They get to carry around like 16 grenades in their loadout. There we go, you blow that thing up and it opens up this little cubby hole that was electrified earlier. You can actually go in that room and do it manually, but if you hit it with a herald, it makes a little explosion and flips the switch. And we're full on grenades again, so flipping that switch is worth it, even if for no other reason, because I don't think we're going to keep that sniper rifle we got. No. It's another Pushka, but it's not going to compare to the 52.7% ignite chance that we have on this Maliwan. That has just been awesome. I mean, doesn't it even seem like more than 50% chance? It seems like every time we hit something with this sniper rifle, they ignite. Those guys really don't like catching on fire. So this is kind of why Damn Fine Rescue is like the real beginning of the game. It's a lot more non-stop than anything else we've run into at this point. His head is concealed by that pipe. There we go. Now we'll go in this room and see what kind of a badass spawns. Badass nomad. If that had been a badass psycho, we'd probably still be fighting him because he would have walked right out of that fire burst. Probably would have still done good damage to him, but those things are just too fast to be completely killed by that kind of a grenade. But that nomad, he can't walk fast enough to get out of that grenade. We actually have enough ammo to finish off this level. I just compulsively want to refill my grenades. That's probably one of the reasons why I like the magic missile so much. I remembered there was a grenade in here, so we're at 5 out of 6. That's pretty damn good. But when you spend this much time going around scrounging chests and ammo and whatever you can find, if you have magic missiles equipped, it'll be generating grenades the entire time. And by the time you get to the next encounter, Your grenades will be full again even if you didn't find any.
Keep shooting!
Calm down.
I can see!
Look at all that health. That reminds me, I haven't died yet. Now that I said that, I'll probably die on Bloodshot Ramparts. But I named this whole playthrough for those about to die, because that is what I usually do. But since it's normal mode and we are very well armed, I guess I've just gotten lucky so far. You hear my birds going crazy in the background. I think they're fighting about something. Little piece of paper they both want. At least my dog's not crying trying to make her bed. But yeah, a fast player is not going to get much use out of the property of a regenerating grenade, because they'd already be onto the ramparts and almost to the warden by now, or maybe they'd be done with the warden by now. But for a player like me, going this slow, magic missiles are awesome for the regenerating property alone. And there's a couple other ones that regenerate as well.
Somebody stop that slagging from springing rolling! I need another head for my merry-go-round!
I think all the ones that regenerate are DLC grenades. We'll put 1 point in flicker, just in case we end up with a class mod that boosts it. I don't know if anything boosts foresight. I can't keep track of everything about everybody's class mods. But I'm almost positive that some of them boost flicker. Although I pretty much plan on just sticking with the nurse class mod and the sweet release boost. I'd like to get to life tap and get a boost to that, but I never make it to life tap when I play Maya. It seems like a really good skill. But other things always take priority, and sweet release works so well that there's not really even a need for it. Hoping for some grenades in here. I'm down to 4. No grenades. No nurse class mods. Backpack is at 20 out of 24, so we have room for all of them. Start thinking about what we want to use against loaders.
Vault Hunter. Good to finally meet you.
Look how huge his hands are.
Good job fighting through those Bloodshots.
Is it just his gloves, or has he just got crazy hands? Maybe that's why Lilith likes him. Now Roland was using a shock weapon against loaders.
That's that. Now let's see about getting out of here.
So maybe that shot Gwen's head and our shock sniper. Well, I know our shock sniper will be good because it's got that 120 crit damage. I don't know if that's better than the Jacobs crit damage because I don't think it's listed on the Jacobs. We want that for sure. Does the Jacobs say? No. It's not listed. I'd have to look it up to see what the... Jacobs might be like 180 or something, which would be even better.
Let go of me,
And
damn it!
that's how Handsome Jack pays ransoms.
Feel kind of bad just leaving Roland to his fate there, but there's nothing you can really do. I've tried getting some early shots on the warden and it doesn't do anything.
Let go of me, damn it!
I am not doing very well with that Jacobs. Let's try the Maliwan.
Taking him to the top of the dam. Get there quick.
It has less recoil, which I think allows me to make 2 shots in a row a lot more easily than with that Jacobs. And plus the shock is something. And since we've got a mixture of loaders and bandits, shock might actually be really good since we don't have to switch between them. Still haven't tried out the bad touch. Curious to see how that level 9 works. Still using the bonus package since we have mixed enemies and explosive damage is neutral as well as shock. I think I'm pretty happy with our loadout so far. Although now we are 1 level above all of our weapons. And once you go through that door, it is safe to save and quit. The next time you start up the game, you'll be right there.
Drop barge. Stop them before they get away.
So it's nice they let you break up this mission. It's good for us recording, and it's usually good for me playing. I can stop playing for a little while, eat some toast or something, and then come back and play some more. Well, nothing very interesting in there. So I guess that is it.